Welcome to The View from North Fulton. We are on location today at the Chattahoochee Nature Center. Beautiful fall day in North Fulton. With me is the Senior Director of the center, Lynn McIntyre. Welcome.
Welcome, thank you.
Thank you for having us. Tell us all the exciting things that are happening here. I hear the school kids, lots of activity. What's happening at the Chattahoochee Nature Center?
Well, Liz, we've got something happening every day here. We're only closed 4 days a year. So there are literally school groups coming from all over the metro area, Fulton County schools in particular, and we have STEM going on, science, technology, engineering, and math. We're doing a pilot program with Fulton County schools on that.
Exciting.
We have raptors being rehabilitated in our wildlife clinic. Almost every day there's somebody bringing in an animal to be rehabilitated or cared for, and that's being assisted by funding from Fulton County government. Thank you very much. We also have some big events coming up. Holiday Market is coming up on December 7th, and we have free admission that day, and lots of local vendors are going to be here, artisans who've made things, and you can purchase items for your holiday shopping. And the best part about that is you're supporting the local economy that way. So there are things really, literally every single weekend. Coming up on November 9th, we're going to have SOAR. It's a wonderful flight program with live raptors when we have the ribbon cutting for the new wildlife walk. So there are things happening for scouts. There are things happening for birthday parties take place here. We have, of course, our school programs that I mentioned, and general visitation. It's a great place to come during the Thanksgiving holidays or during the Christmas break, anytime with your family.
Well, we're very excited to be here. We have a jam-packed show today. I think we're going to visit with Camp Kingfisher. We're going to visit the new wildlife walk, as well as the community garden, which is very, very exciting and a great way that you give back to the community. So, Lynn, thank you again for all you do for North Fulton, and thank you for hosting us today.
Thank you, Commissioner Hausman.
And we will be right back with so much on The View from North Fulton, so don't go away. Welcome back. Again, we're here at the beautiful Chattahoochee Nature Center. We're actually standing on the Ben Brady Pavilion overlooking the water. And we're here today with Tim Reedy. So nice to see you, Tim.
Great to be here.
Now, you are the director of Camp Kingfisher, correct?
That's right.
And you're also an Alpharetta native. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. I grew up in Alpharetta, like you said. My family loved exploring the national parks around here and the Chattahoochee River, and I actually went to Centennial High School.
Awesome.
Then went to UGA and studied business, but all along I really had a passion for working with kids. I helped out with the local youth groups, volunteered with Boy Scouts, and eventually worked at Camp Kingfisher as a counselor and then eventually as the camp director.
Wonderful. Well, tell us about Camp Kingfisher. Who attends this beautiful camp?
Sure. It's a camp that has a lot of ages at it, so the experience is a little bit different per each age. We have rising kindergartners all the way up through rising ninth graders. So it's a camp that focuses a little bit on nature education, ecology, biology. We get out and touch the dirt. We go out and dig and check out the water. And then some traditional camp activities like canoeing, swimming, arts and crafts, singing songs. It's a lot of fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Now, obviously you have this in the summer, but you also have it in the holiday time as well, correct?
That's right. We find that a lot of our families are working families, and they have to work during the breaks. So we have a spring break camp and a winter break camp that serves those families.
Fabulous. There's not that many camps around during that time of year, so are you pretty busy then?
We do. We have a lot of attendance there, and a lot of our campers from the summer come back just because they're ready for a break from school, and
Yeah.
they want to get outside and hike and see animals and just have a blast.
And a lot different experience in the summer versus in the winter, I would imagine.
We do have to put up our canoes. It's a little too cold for that.
Yeah.
Our pool is covered, but we still do a lot of the same activities, and we add a few special ones. One that kids love every year is our Star Lab, which is you get inside a huge planetarium and you go stargazing inside.
Oh, wow.
Kids love it. You have a kind of a tour guide that talks about how stars have been used throughout history for navigation and different types of things. We also have hot chocolate to warm up after we do go outside, so we do warm up with some hot chocolate every single day.
Very, very nice. Well, now, we're a partner, Fulton County partners with the Chattahoochee Nature Center through Fresh Grant funding and other funds. The camps are funded through Fresh Grants, is that correct?
That's correct. We really, over the past 3 years, we've had a lot of campers come with the funding of Fulton County through the Fresh Grant. It's been a very successful program for kids in need that might not otherwise have the chance. We find that a lot of families that need financial assistance, the key thing is childcare.
Right.
And for them to come to camp and just have this enriching experience where they learn a lot, it supports them in school, they grow emotionally, they grow in all of these ways socially. It's been a really cool experience, and even this year we're starting not only to bring them in summer, but we're bringing families in winter for that winter break camp we were talking about.
Now, I know there's some scholarship opportunities. How would someone find out about that?
The best way is really to contact me. My phone number at the Nature Center.
And what's that number?
It's 770-992-2055, and I'm at extension 232. And families can just call me, and we can really figure out best if they qualify under the grant qualifications, and if camp would also be a good fit for them. We try to only bring campers in who would really benefit.
And lunch is provided as well?
We provide lunch, and the thing that I love about the lunch we provide is it's low impact, which means that the lunch is either reusable or completely recyclable.
Wow.
So they use Tupperwares, we give them cloth napkins, they have these awesome lunch boxes that are reusable that they can use for the rest of the school year, and they get to sign their name on that low impact lunch board, which is a big sign of pride for a lot of kids because they're making a difference and wasting less.
And you're enrolling now for this winter break camp? Very
We're
good.
enrolling now, and we'll be enrolling for summer soon.
Well, thank you again for your time at such a beautiful facility. We were lucky to be here on such a gorgeous day. And
Yeah.
thanks for what you're doing for the kids.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll be right back with more from the Chattahoochee Nature Center. Welcome back. We are again here at the Chattahoochee Nature Center with Community Program Director Rebecca Gilbert.
Hello.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for coming out here.
Tell us a little bit about what you do as Community Program Director.
Well, I'm really excited to be a part of the Nature Center for just over 13 years now.
Wow.
And I help plan events for the community. So whether it's your birthday party for your kid, or your brownie troupe wants to come out here, or a great festival like our Halloween hikes or our Earth Day Kids Fest, I help make all of those happen. And I help our volunteers help educate the public about the watershed and why we're here at the Nature Center.
And y'all actually do weddings here too, do you not?
We do. Our brand new, over 3 years old pavilion is a spectacular place for a wedding. If you see it, the pictures at night, it's just a magical location.
Very, very nice. Well, we're standing in front of the Eagle exhibit,
Yes.
and we're at the entrance to the new wildlife walk. Tell us about that.
Well, this is something that is kind of helps close the loop of what we want to educate folks here about the watershed. So our wildlife walk that encompasses some of our permanently disabled, non-releasable wildlife, and then our woodland trails. Our new experience is going to provide our visitors with the opportunity to learn about the plants and the animals that live within their watershed and how they all relate to each other and how they connect to each other.
So what could a visitor expect to see on the Wildlife Walk?
Well, some of our favorite animals is our beaver. We have a very elderly beaver, but it's everyone's favorite. They come see him, they see him every day, and some people have fun little names for him. And also, of course, our bald eagles are some of our spectacular stars.
I don't know if y'all can hear that, but they're singing to us right now.
It's only if you're lucky do you get to hear that.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And then we also have some of our hawks, which people see in their backyard, but they're not sure what they are. So this gives them the opportunity to see them up close and know whether it's a red-tailed hawk or whether it's a red-shouldered hawk, and how they might be able to provide habitat and housing for those birds to live in their backyard.
What about other types of non-flying animals?
Yes. Also, one of our great new experiences over by one of our ponds, our Kingfisher Pond, allows folks the opportunity to sit, reflect, and there's a great little spot where some of our turtles will line up on a log, maybe 10, 20 at a time, and you can see them kind of just hanging out there. You'll see some of our fish, maybe a largemouth bass or maybe a bluegill swimming around in the water, and it gives our folks an opportunity to just sit, reflect, and have some good quality time.
Now, how did you get this happening? I know that it took probably some special funding.
Yes, it did. This could not be possible without the James M. Cox Foundation or the R. Howard Dobbs Jr. Foundation. Through their generous support and numerous hours from staff, we were able to come up with the concepts and work with the exhibit design company out of Nashville, Tennessee, called 1220, and put our ideas into tangible objects and have the ideas come to life for our visitors. And so without that support, none of this new experience would be possible.
So you operate with public and private funds to make this happen.
That's the beauty of it, and it's why I think working at the Nature Center is so impactful. I get to work with government officials, I get to work with private corporations, I get to work with families who all believe in the mission of the Nature Center. And through whether it's a $5 support from a kid who raised money from a lemonade stand, to whether it's a corporation who gives funding for something like a wildlife walk, or a government agency who helps us keep doing our rehab program, we couldn't do it with all levels of support.
And you have a lot of school groups that come through?
Yes, we do, especially during the fall and the spring. Thousands of kids will get to experience the wildlife walk and the woodland trails for the first time starting this fall, and so having that experience for them will be tremendous.
Well, Rebecca, thank you again, and let's go check out the trail.
Fantastic.
And we'll be right back. Welcome back. Once again, we are at a section of the Chattahoochee Nature Center, actually in the Unity Garden, here with Senior Operations Director
Very good.
Henning von Schmeling.
Very nice.
So nice to see you
nice
again.
to see you again.
We
Yes,
had you on
welcome.
the show last year. You brought in some animals.
We did.
Today
It was
we're
great.
Yep, today we're
I'm
in the
glad
garden.
that you all were able to come out today and look at the garden actually itself and see what we've done here. So this is a wonderful garden, sponsored by Kaiser Permanente. Originally gave us the money 3 years ago to start it. They still fund it, and now we're starting to look for other funding as well. We have a major event in the fall called Harvest on the Hooch.
I was there.
And it was a great event with local chefs preparing food and animals here, and the chickens and the alpacas and kids running around and the musicians running around. So it's one of my favorite events at the Nature Center. It's very low key and just fits right into what the garden really stands for. The community coming together and helping each other out and helping the garden out by funding it.
Well, specifically, what do you do with the food? You have a partnership with North Fulton Community
We
Charities?
do. North Fulton Community Charities receives all the produce that we generate in the garden. To date, we have grown about 27, almost 28,000 pounds since we started it 3 years ago. And this year we're on track to do, for the entire growing year, just under 10,000 pounds for this year. So we're learning every year how to become more productive. Our first year we did 4,000 pounds. The second year we did almost 7. Last year we did almost almost 10,000. This year we're going to do 10,000 as well. So every year we get a little bit better with producing more and more that we can send on to North Fulton Community Charities. They have many clients that have dietary restrictions, that they can't really eat too much canned food or processed foods or dried foods. So this fresh vegetables that we can supply for them are a wonderful addition to their diet. And we know that as soon as we walk in that door and bring in 100 or 200 or 300 pounds at a time of produce, it will be off the shelf in less than an hour. I mean, people are just waiting for it. They actually ask when it comes in so they can be there to receive that as their food donations.
Now, are there certain days that you try to have it there?
Every Friday we try to, so they have something for the weekend to eat, and then it depends on what the harvest is. In the winter it's a little bit less because we can let a head of lettuce go a little bit longer, or broccoli. In the summer, corn has to be picked at a certain time. Tomatoes can't be really stored long term, so we have to bring it more often. So in the summer we deliver sometimes 3 to 4 times a week. In the winter once or twice.
All right, and we're standing in front of...
This is all broccoli right here. These are a little bit younger than the ones we have in another section of the garden. They have not developed the florets, as we call them. When you eat broccoli, you actually are eating flower buds. So flower buds are what we cook up, or we can eat raw, and that should produce probably 300 to 400 pounds, just a small little patch right here.
Wow.
So it's a great crop for us. We use varieties that produce well. We do use conventional fertilizer, but we do not use pesticides or herbicides in the garden. So it's all done manually by hand. We actually have volunteers hand picking bugs off of plants to keep them healthy.
Wow.
So they spend a lot of time here. So.
Well, tell us about your volunteers.
There's 2 different categories of volunteers. We get corporate groups coming in that do major turnovers of the gardens, meaning that if a whole row has been harvested, they come in and they till it, they prepare the soil, and then they plant 1,000 or 2,000 new plants. Each of these long rows takes about 1,200 plants when you plant lettuce, like this one here. This is romaine, and then we have some red curly leaf lettuce there.
Now, when will this be ready?
2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
So in 2 to 3 weeks, this all will be ready, sent on. I know they just took in about 200 pounds of lettuce this morning, so that's already at the food bank for this afternoon distribution. But corporate groups come in and do that. Corporate groups also have given us donations, financial support of the garden. UPS is one, and then we have Bank of America has given us some. Private individuals has given us funding. And then the other category of, one of our biggest volunteer corporate groups is autotrader.com. They send in a huge amount of people coming in. I don't think anybody from their corporate office has not been here yet. I mean, they have a corporate culture where they support volunteerism. They want people to go out. They come in on a Friday afternoon and work, and then they all go to dinner together or something. So they build up this team building. Yes, absolutely. And then we have the private individuals and individuals that come out to volunteer on a regular basis. They come out, once a week for 3 to 4 hours, every Tuesday, every Friday, whenever, and they work with our new garden coordinator, Katie Gibson, on planting, on designing, on growing things in the greenhouse, sowing out, transplanting, and so that we don't have any ground open at any given time. So we use the ground constantly.
And so how many man hours a week do you estimate that you spend out here?
With the volunteers, I'll have to do quick calculations, right? About 40 hours or so a week, 40 to 50 hours, plus our part-time employee.
And how large is the garden?
It's about a quarter acre, just over a quarter acre, and we generate a little bit less than 10,000 now. I'm going to stick with that number because it looks like we're hitting that number closer and closer every year. An average 1 acre vegetable garden in the U.S. produces about 10,000 pounds per acre, and we produce almost 10,000 per quarter acre.
Wow.
So this garden could be an example of making urban agriculture a reality where it makes sense to grow your own vegetables and to produce vegetables locally, so you don't have the shipping costs, you don't have refrigeration, all these vegetables go directly to the consumer on the same day it gets harvested. Most vegetables that we buy at the grocery store have already been cut 2 weeks ago. People don't realize that, and some people believe that nutritional value goes downhill once it starts decomposing some, or gets stored for an extended period of time in refrigeration, or if it gets processed. I mean, that we know. So we try to get it to the consumer as quickly as possible without a huge amount of extra cost associated with it.
And again, it's a 12-month operation.
12 months. Some of the best crops you can grow in the wintertime. Some of the healthiest. All your leafy greens, all your dark green leafy vegetables, collards, kale. I mean, you can even eat the leaves from the broccoli plants back here. It's just the same family, so you can eat those, and we send them on, and we let them know to cook them just like collard greens, or cook them up, or cut them up and put them in a salad as a green leafy vegetable in there. So through the winter, we have mizuna as a lettuce, we have arugula, we do broccoli, cauliflower, lettuce naturally all over the place. We do pak choy, we do, so all these are winter crops that you don't need to water because we typically get rain in the winter. They don't have any pests because the bugs aren't out. It's winter time. And with a little bit of protection, they can grow all winter long. So we use this very lightweight material that we put over top on hoops that protects them just to be above freezing. And then we can produce 12 months a year.
So again, if someone wants to help or help you fund it or work in the garden, what do they need to do?
Go to our website. On our website, there's a link to Gardens at CNC or Horticulture at CNC.
Okay.
Click on that, or they can go directly to the Contact Us volunteer here, and then say that you want to work in the Unity Garden. So there's links on both of those sites.
Very good.
So,
and then finally, you have a new project here, I understand.
well,
You're
yes,
dealing in chickens.
we're dealing in chickens. I have some experience from a farm that I help manage down in Madison as well, with chickens down there where we raise them for eggs and for meat production. So I thought it would be a great way for us to get some chickens here for the garden, not only for pest control in the garden because they love eating bugs, but also to get great fertilizer. We want to go more organic here. We want to get away from conventional fertilizers, so chicken manure is great. And we have 8 chickens, and I can attest to this. They produce a lot every day. So since we clean it every day, yes. No eggs yet. They're still pullets. They're young. They're only 3 to 4 months old.
Okay.
And chickens in general will produce eggs very well in this kind of a situation in the spring and in the fall. So we're just hitting fall now. They're not reaching the age yet, so we might have to wait till spring for the egg production. But it's amazing if they get a good healthy diet and they have a lot of place to roam and to be happy chickens, they can lay 5 to 7 eggs a week, each chicken. So that's a lot of eggs. So you have 2, you get a dozen a week. So.
And then your funding. Let's talk about that.
Kaiser Permanente is the primary sponsor of the Unity Garden. They have given us a lot of money over the course of the 3 years, and with the expansion of the garden and going to outside programming and doing more with the information that we've gathered here and giving it to the public, we're looking for additional funding to branch out and do outreaches and to assist other people to build gardens either at their schools or to do a community garden within their neighborhood. I mean, this would be the size of about 2 or 3 tennis courts. So if there's a neighborhood that really doesn't have the tennis club anymore and nobody plays tennis or it's not being used, why not turn it into a vegetable garden? Because I bet you could find some interest in there. I know that in Atlanta, in the city of Atlanta, many abandoned lots are used temporarily for vegetable gardens until something else gets built on there. But urban agriculture is a really big thing. We want to promote it. We have a lot of information to share, and we want people to have this information, but we got to get it to them, and that takes time and that takes an effort. So we're looking for funding for that to branch out. We're also looking at the possibility of incorporating vegetable gardening into STEM programming, which STEM is the big initiative in education right now. And it fits right in because not only is there science involved with this, you got to know what crop to use, how was it developed, what does it do in your environment. You got to do math, how many plants per square foot can you plant, what's the yield, so you can do math in there. Technology, we always use different things and look at different either tools or fabrics or fertilizers or pots and soil mixes and all that, so that's all part of that as well. And then, let's see, science, technology, engineering, not so much. And then if you want to go a step further, STEAM, and incorporate art into that as well. Well, we try to do a little bit of art with your friend over here, the scarecrow, and then we had some Girl Scouts make some nice row names, and they made the little bowling ball mosaic. So we're trying to incorporate some art in here as well, but that would work as well with STEM and STEAM. So.
Well, as always, Henning, your passion comes
thank
through,
you.
and we really appreciate all you're doing.
Thanks for coming out. And
For the Nature Center, but
Yeah.
for the community.
Yeah.
It's really, really
This is
gratifying.
a labor of love, really. I've wanted a garden. I like these gardens, and I think we can make a difference in the community, not only with producing vegetables to donate, but also to encourage other people to emulate this and to continue on and to do this in their backyard and to try to find community garden areas where they can really cultivate more and more plants and produce more
Good
locally.
stuff.
So,
Good stuff.
yeah.
Good stuff. Well, we'll be right back with our wrap up. But again, thank you so much for being with us on The View from North Fulton. Well, that brings us to the end of our show after our visit to the Chattahoochee Nature Center. Not only was the weather beautiful, with the leaves just starting to change colors and the sounds of school children hiking around and just discovering nature's blessings, but it was great to learn about all of the wonderful programming the Nature Center has to offer. The Chattahoochee Nature Center has so much to do and is right here in our North Fulton backyard. So, if you would like to go for a nice walk in the woods, remember that the Wildlife Walk is now open and ready for you to come take that walk and enjoy the animals and wonderful scenery along the way, with lots of enjoyment for all ages. The community garden that benefits the North Fulton Community Charities is a wonderful example of how giving back can be so much fun. If you have children who are in kindergarten through the 7th grade and are in need of a great camp that they can participate and really learn something while they are out of school for the winter break, Camp Kingfisher might be the right place. They will get outside, hike, and play at the Chattahoochee Nature Center. Camp Kingfisher's Winter Break Camp is a 4-day taste of summer camp fun with some unique twists. One highlight every year is the Star Lab, a mini observatory perfectly suited for the changing season. The time inside the Star Lab feels like a night under the stars in the mountains. If you're interested, please contact Tim Reedy at 770-992-2055, extension 232. You can get the information regarding the community garden, Camp Kingfisher, the Wildlife Walk, Back to Nature Holiday Market and Festival, and all the other happenings on their website at www.chattahoocheenaturecenter.org. So thank you for viewing our show today, and I hope that you will take the opportunity to visit the center to enjoy for yourself some of the things you saw in our program today. Maybe it even inspired you to get out and spend time exploring all that they have going on this fall. Each time that I'm there, I learn something new. This is truly an asset to be treasured in our North Fulton community. That's my view. What's yours? You can contact me at my District 3 office at 404-612-8213 or via email at liz.houseman@fultoncountyga.gov. And of course, you can always find me on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The View from North Fulton. Thanks for being with us.